What's up, everybody? This is going to be a little bit different of a video. Obviously, I'm not in front of a green screen, and you're not looking at my hands, so that off the rip should kind of tell you that this is not the usual video that you're used to me. Today I want to talk about what being a father and what Father's Day means to me. I had a very interesting relationship with my dad. He was very extreme, very much the kind of guy that my way or the highway kind of guy. And I was never really as extreme as that. He carried himself in such a way where he entered a room and he was noticed. I was always kind of quiet, just kind of there. From a young age, though, I always looked to my father and wanted to kind of emulate him in terms of the way he could command a room. He was very smart. He went to University of Texas and was an architect and a pilot. I remember one time when I was about maybe 10 or 11, I flew with him in a little single engine plane. He was doing touch and goes, and that's basically where you take off and land and over again. But we did get up, and I was terrified. It was the first time I'd ever seen him actually in that capacity before. But he was really the one that kind of kicked off the whole sports card thing, when he was into something, he was really into it. And I got that from him. Definitely got that from him. But when he was uninterested, he was definitely uninterested. He was a guy that, very extreme, had some demons for sure. He's born December 31st and he died March 14th. Very much had a huge impact on me in the hobby and me just obviously as a person. But Father's Day to me, I have a 3-year-old daughter now, so it's definitely a strange thing because I think about him every single day, literally every single day. And it really does affect every day. I think about it. I think about how I want to be a great father. And he really did get me into the hobby more so than I think I would have ever gotten into it. There was a little card shop little less than a mile away from where he was living at the time. And we would go there basically every single time I would see him. He and my mom split up around when I was around 5, right before I started kindergarten, I think. But he still lived in the area and I got to see him. They were never married, so, there was no court or anything, that I had to stay with any one person, but it was just decided upon between those two that I stay with my mom and see him on the weekends. And literally every single time I would see him, we would go to this card shop. I remember it, the House of Cards. Martin was the name of the owner. And he would sit in there and, oh my gosh, we would talk baseball and sports and cards for hours on end. And it's funny because my mom just recently brought over a box of cards from when I was a kid. And, I get it. I set it on the table when it gets home and kind of get that whiff, right? That smell of old cards. And it took me right back. Took me right back there to that place, to that card shop, the House of Cards. And just all the memories. Bought my first Albert Pujols card there. Just, man, it was incredible. It was incredible. Those times, I'm obviously never get them back. I remember towards the end, we didn't talk much. We didn't talk much at all. To this day, I regret that. I regret that to this day. And he died suddenly. It wasn't like it was anything that we planned on or we knew about. So, I mean, it was a blink of an eye. Just like that, he was gone. And the last time I remember seeing him, I remember him coming over. I was still living at my mom's house, and he came over just randomly out of the blue. I was the only one home. He's like, "Hey, how you doing, son?" It's good. How are you doing? Just exchanged pleasantries, basically. He asked if I wanted to go out to get some food, go out to, grab a bite. I was too busy. I had some plans. And that's really the last time I remember seeing him in person. We had our differences and everything, like most young men and their fathers do, or a lot do. So I'm not saying that my situation is any different or anything, or any, more real or anything than anyone else's. But I just wanted to share with you guys what Father's Day means to me. This is a video that I've been tossing around in my mind about how to make it and what I wanted to do, and if I even wanted to make this video, because honestly, this is, obviously personal stuff, probably nothing you've ever seen from a card YouTuber or whatever, if that's what you want to call me. But it really made me think, just this video idea made me think about what I wanted this channel to be. If you go back, way back on the channel, first videos, they were about baseball, not baseball cards. I've been in the hobby on and off for as long as I can remember, going back to junior high, even grade school, trading cards with my good buddy Evan, and my dad taking us to card shops and stuff, and his dad taking us to card shop. But I've been really thinking about what I want this channel to be, and it has really become apparent to me. I want it to be more of just me chronicling my interests. So like I said, if you go back and look at those first couple videos, they were about baseball. And then I made some sneaker videos, more high production, and I really like those. I like those a lot. That's why I haven't taken them down or anything. And then you look, I have a long line of Magic the Gathering stuff, and I had a pretty decent audience. Not saying anything, I wasn't big hotshot or anything by any means, but I did have a nice core group of following, and but I just want to be able to make the content that I want. Obviously, I'm still very much gonna keep doing sports cards. It's been, very fun, and the community is amazing, and I'm very passionate about it. But my father was very passionate about a lot, and he really went out of his way. I would say my senior year, the year I graduated high school, 2009, he really went out of his way to find an interest in what I was passionate about, which was sports and baseball. And I remember we went to countless games that summer. A lot of my friends I would take, sometimes my dad would go and come with us, and and then sometimes he'd say, "Hey, here's a couple of tickets, you guys go have fun at the ballpark." So yeah, it was awesome. That summer was great. I remember going to Blues games and stuff with him, and tickets that he bought and just gave me and my friends, and that was an awesome experience. And he was so passionate about stuff. but he was the type of guy that could command a room. He really could command a room. And he was so genuine. And if he didn't like you, you definitely knew it. And if he liked you, you for sure knew it. And he was able to make people feel like they were special. And he was excited about stuff that he cared about. And that was one thing that Abby, my girlfriend, partner, baby mama, whatever you want to call her, she says to me all the time is, you're so passionate about stuff and you're so exciting, and that excitement is kind of carries through in your content, in your videos. And I guess that's true. I hope that's true. But I just really, really, want this to be an awesome community. And I just want to chronicle my life, because I don't have any voicemails, any videos. My dad didn't do YouTube or anything. I don't have any voicemails or any recordings or any videos of him at all. I can very faintly, in the back of my mind, when I think very hard about it, remember his voice. And I don't want my daughter to not remember the sound of her dad's voice or the way he looked when he was in his prime. So that's kind of why, I want this YouTube thing to be a thing, right? I just want eventually to have people that care about me be able to look back and say, yeah, that was Alex. Because it's hard. I think about him and literally every single day. At his funeral, he knew so many people. There were so many people I'd never met before. I didn't know he knew so many people. People coming up to me. And my sister, we were half brother and sister, but she didn't see him for a good majority of his life, of her life. And she luckily, thankfully, got the opportunity to come in the last year maybe and get to hang out with him a little bit. But she was at the funeral and everybody was, saying this stuff that people say, condolences, so sorry, and all that stuff. And I couldn't believe, I felt so bad for her because I felt shame. I really did feel shame because I didn't take the opportunity to hang out with him as much as I could have. And here she is, I'm looking at her, and she didn't have those opportunities. And as soon as she got them, she took advantage of them every single time she could. So I felt shameful. I still do. I regret it. It's probably my biggest regret. And I'm not trying to preach or anything to anybody because I know everybody's got their own stuff, and I know that. And I'm not trying to preach or anything. But, it's just one of those things that if I could have it back and redo it all over again, I would definitely redo it. Those last couple months, I actually looked today. He sent of messages on Facebook Messenger, and I was just giving him like one-word answers, like yeah, sure, okay, and yeah, it doesn't feel great, and there's nothing I can do about it, obviously, but just try and appreciate the people that are in my life more now, every day. Again, I'm not trying to be preachy, and I know everybody's situation's different, but just for me, I'm going to try, and it's cliche, but make every second count, make every day count, try to, be present. And yeah, it's funny too, because he used to say something, and it's a saying that's gotten very popular recently for sure. But he used to say all the time, "It is what it is." And at the time, and I agreed with it. You know, I think you could say that. But the more I've thought about it, and the more I've really dug into content creation, and just changed my mindset about how I go about living. It isn't what it is. You know, it is what you make it. And that's kind of what I'm trying to build here, is something sustainable, something that, you know, my loved ones can look at in 100 years maybe and say, yeah, that was my dad, or that was my grandpa, or whatever, you know. So I don't know, guys. I just wanted to get this video out there just to kind of let you guys in on what Father's Day means to me, and just as a reminder, you know, you never know, man. You never ever know. Could happen like that. So, I mean, not to get preachy again, call your dad. Tell him you love him. Or if you're close enough, go over to his house, give him a hug. Because you do never know. You do never know. And, I mean, I just want this channel to chronicle kind of my journey, obviously with sports cards, but just my journey in general through life. I'm excited about the prospects of sports where we get to go to a stadium and stuff. I don't know how long that's going to be, or if that'll ever be again. It's crazy to think of that, but I'm excited to like take the camera out, do vlog style videos and stuff. So I'm really excited for that to return, so you guys can see me out of the green screen kind of scenario. So I don't know, that's just a video. This is just a video that I wanted to make for myself more so than anybody else. If you did make it this far though, thank you. I appreciate you guys listening and you know, hearing what I have to say. And if you did make it this far though, I want, if you could just give me leave a comment in the comment section, say Happy Father's Day, and then your father's name. So I'll start it off and say Happy Father's Day, Bruce. I miss you, Big Mac. I miss the hell out of you. You're so silly.
You got a picture. You got a picture, Daddy.
Yeah. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, do it. Let me see it.
Okay.
Okay, turn this right here.
You want to see it? Mm-hmm. Okay.